I've got 2 children. I don't need any more. You work for me, and the only fucking thing I owe you is a damn paycheck. That's it. I don't owe you anything. I don't even have to freaking buy you a Christmas present. We've got a great topic tonight. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects. It's really interesting because I feel like we're like...
Wait, what's the subject?
I'm getting...
it's a build up.
It's millennials.
Okay, what exactly is a millennial?
Google that shit.
Okay.
Let's really get the official thing so that we have a good context of what...
Hey, Siri, Google, what is a millennial?
My web search turned something up for millennial. Have a look.
Okay, a millennial is an identity given to a broadly and vaguely defined group of people. There are 2 wings of millennial that are often at odds with each other. Generation Z, born between Generation Y, people born between 1981 and 1991. And Generation Z, born between 1991 and 2001.
So Generation Z is the ones that are extra special.
Special. That's a good word. We're going to use that word to define.
Special.
Not that we're picking on anybody, but we're picking on somebody.
When we say what the F, we are saying that means fair.
Yeah, that's what that means. People of Generation Y often have characteristics similar to Generation X, which is why Generation Z will confuse Generation Y. This sounds like fucking algebra. Wait, I said an F word again. Oops, sorry.
That means fair.
I'm trying not to curse. But Generation X and will confuse Generation Y with Generation X and the claim to be the generation that represents millennials. But you know what? So let's just go to this. This description is exactly how I most of the time feel about
hold on.
the general of a millennial.
The primary difference between the 2 is technology. Y grew up on personal computers, cell phones, and video game systems, while Z has grown up with tablets, smartphones, and apps. Yet, the common ground between both generations is that both have been transforming and altering communication and identity, not just in the U.S., but this is a global thing.
Well,
thank you, Siri.
But the thing about it is, I've employed millennials and I've not employed millennials. And there is an extraordinary difference. And probably most of your interns are younger folks that I would probably consider them millennials. And I have to say, having interacted with a lot of your staff, and you've interacted with a lot of my staff, that
they don't understand.
But some of them are really, really, really... You can't group everybody into that millennial bubble because a couple of them truly get it. A couple of them know how to hold themselves. They know how to care, even at a younger age. Like my daughter,
they were taught.
She is killing it. My son is doing his own thing, but he's not back in the nest. He's not relying on me. She's not relying. You know, they're standing on their own 2 feet, and it's... I don't know. There's something about they're entitled. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't mean to sound old, but finally, for the first time, I'm feeling like back when my grandma was whatever. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm turning into that person. And I feel like I'm a little bit out of touch, but I want to be fair with people. But when I have people that literally, let's just give you an example. And I'll be quick because I want you to make your point too. I think this is something, this is a huge topic right now for small businesses. And we're all faced with it. And it's not to say, and I'm not picking on any one person. I'm speaking to my experience that I've had. And I have 2 perspectives where there's millennials and not millennials. So my millennial folks that have worked for me recently, as of recent, I'm just going to be honest with you. I literally can't stand you. Like, you are so spoiled, and it's that kind of thing, if I show up, I should get a trophy. Well, no, that's not how life really is. You don't get a trophy for just showing up in life. You have to freaking work.
And add value.
And, well, yes. Well, bring your own value to the table.
What I love, well,
Well, okay, so I'll bring it into a nutshell as an example, a personal example. Like I'm a small business, all right? Like what the majority of this country is made up of.
Absolutely.
As we all know, this is a huge issue with healthcare, all right, and insurance. And being an entrepreneur, I paid through the damn nose for health coverage at my age with a $10,000 deductible. Like, I literally paid so much money out to have just health insurance basically for catastrophic. But I got chastised by my staff because I wouldn't provide them benefits. And I'm like...
They don't understand. But
let me just say, okay, at some point you can't lean back on, I don't understand, when you have literally a brain for yourself and you can educate yourself about what's really happening in this world.
But they also don't... So most of them come from parents, because I came from parents who worked for companies, big companies who provide healthcare insurance and benefits. In fact, my mother was still working because my dad was sick and he needed benefits and he was retired. And I just look at that and I'm like, yay you, but like, I don't ever want to be working for a company just for benefits, because that doesn't make you happy.
But also that doesn't exist hardly anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's not the same world.
But they're hearing their parents say, you need a real job in corporate America where you need benefits. And like, there are these things called a personal policy that you can like budget for and pay out of your pocket. So anyway, before we
we're on a little bit of a tangent, but that's okay. That's what this whole segment's about.
Well, but I want to back up and talk about interns. So my favorite is when the interns or people who, we have a whole process now, and it is a great pre-qualifying process to make sure that A, they care about people, B, they have passion for people, because you usually can't teach that. So interns, let me just explain to you. It takes a lot of time to stop and teach and train. And when I was in college, I interned and did all types of internships and externships, anything to keep me out of class, because I learned doing, hands-on. And so one guy that is in my business group, he's like, why don't you charge? Because you're teaching people. Like, charge for people to intern with you and shadow you. And
I bet that goes over well.
Yeah, right. But when I'm going to get to a point to where I'm doing that, because you don't really, until you go through it, you don't know the value.
But you know what, Angela?
You're learning.
Basically, you're giving them an education. Well, who doesn't have to pay for education?
Absolutely. And
So,
you cannot learn what you're doing.
It's valuable.
In a book or sitting in a class. Anyway, okay. So, and by the way, wrap that part up. Nothing's free in life, and the best things are hard to find. But I also think it's all about communication, and you have to earn your way. Another one of my favorites is one of my past team members came to me right after she graduated, and I'm like, well, how much do you need to live? And she's like, I want to do this and this and this, and I
want a new car.
That's great. And yay, rah, rah for like your goals. But, and again, I don't want to sound like my mom, but like when I was your age, I wasn't even thinking about those things.
When I was their age, I was married, had 2 kids, just bought a house, was finishing college, I'm just broke. But so.
It's just different.
It's so different, and this is hard to navigate. This is hard to navigate.
But you have to earn your value. So if you want to get commission, that means, ready? Are you ready? You actually have to close a sale. So when you're making money for the company, absolutely I'm happy to give you commission.
Well, do you know what, Angela? So I did an experiment, and I consistently had 1 or 2 of them, the same 1 or 2, that consistently had overtime. It didn't matter if there was a 12-cake weekend or a 3-cake weekend. They always managed to have overtime.
What do you call that? Like milk in the tit or something? Come off the tit?
No, it's milk in the clock.
Oh, milk in the clock.
Or slow walking. Okay, that's what I call it.
Okay.
So anyway, I did this I
think
you know what?
Breastfeeding is gross.
You know what? It is. But so I said this, we're all going to salary. You're going to get paid for 40 hours no matter what. You are going to get paid.
Get the shit done.
And you're being paid for the job you do, not for the time amount of work you do. So if you get done early, you get to leave early. You still get the same job, all right? So let me just tell you what happened.
They work 40 hours.
They they got out of there every Friday by 4:30, 5 o'clock. And it didn't matter if there were 3 cakes or 12 cakes.
How do they
And
do
I was
that?
like, that's amazing, isn't it?
Magic.
It just tells me that that's very disrespectful. So if this is something that you are dealing with in your business, God bless you, because I think it's an issue that we probably could devote an entire segment to. And give some really good tips. So if you've got this happening, we would love to hear from you. And
Let us know.
Yeah, please comment below.
I do have a word.
Oh yeah, let's do. Yeah.
Patience.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I'm out.
The older I get, the less
Girl,
I'm getting.
wait till you turn 50, okay? Because I just soon slap you in the head as to look at you. I want to throat punch them. I'm not kidding. I have absolutely zero patience for this entitlement that you somehow think I need to gratiate you because you exist. I ain't doing it. I am not
So move on.
doing it.
Move on. So for all of you millennials watching, either one, go start your own incredible business.
Or learn how to work for somebody.
And 2, go work for a major corporation and learn what corporate America is about. And let me just tell you, they don't give a shit.
No.
They don't.
You're a number.
And when you work for small businesses, and this has kind of bit me in the ass recently, like, we care. Like, I know you say you don't, but like, I genuinely did care until I'm like totally disrespected.
But this is why I don't care.
And
I
then,
don't
like,
invest.
And then a door slammed in my face when I'm trying to be nice to somebody.
What do I
It's just
tell you?
like,
What do I tell you all the time?
are you kidding me?
What do I tell you all
Like,
the
I
time?
treat you like my children.
No.
That don't exist.
No, you know what?
Stop being nice.
I've got 2 children. I don't need any more. You work for me, and
I
the
don't want
only
children.
fucking thing I owe you is a damn paycheck. That's it. I don't owe you anything. I don't even have to freaking buy you a Christmas present. I don't have to acknowledge your birthday.
If they're Jewish, they don't want a Christmas present.
Exactly. But I'm just saying to you, I literally do not owe you anything. That's the message here. You earn what you earn, and that's it. That's all I owe you. And that sounds like, okay, if you know me genuinely, I really do kind of care about people, but that really does go against my whole kind of, really and truly, you know me.
Yeah, I know.
I do care about people, but I've had to guard myself so that
It's really sad.
it's really sad, and as I said at the beginning of the segment, I have that perspective because my employees when I first started and the employees when I stopped, it's sad that it goes across those decades, but
Yeah.
it does. They're very different.
Very different.
My first set of employees, they would go and work to the end of the earth, and I just think, where are we headed, with what's happening?
Some of it is passion, but it really does sadden me that they think technology can solve all communication,
Yeah.
and which I'm all about it. I really don't like talking on the phone
But we
unless I
can
have a clear agenda.
But we can still use our words.
Absolutely.
And
but they
behaviors.
don't know how to communicate.
No, they don't.
They don't know how to communicate.
It's a huge problem. Send us. We want to hear it. I want to hear from you. Even if you're a millennial, I would
Send us your
love.
comments.
I want to hear it, and maybe we can even bring one on the show and just get their insight. I think it would be really good.
They may not leave a laugh. I don't think that's a good idea.
You're probably right. I'd have to be drunk to interview them. I'm just saying. All right, here we are. We're ready for one of my favorite segments. We're gonna do sorry.
Not sorry.
Not sorry. And this is going to be good. I had the privy of kind of like peeking over Anne's shoulder and look at her notes. So wait till you hear this. This is a very classic sorry, not sorry. So Anne, tell us about it.
This was a while ago, and I will say this was really an important move for me because it was the first client that I said no to with your help. So the situation was it was a Friday night. I remember it like it was yesterday. I met with a bride and her mom and the groom's mom, which is very normal. We spent about, I would say, almost 2 hours together, which typically I give away a complimentary hour, share my process, give people the opportunity to ask a few questions.
Well, that's your chance to sell them.
Absolutely.
Like you're uncovering need
and
at
I'm
that
also
point.
pre-qualifying them too, to make sure they're a good fit.
That's important.
So I thought we had a great meeting. Now I will say I think it was about 15 months away, but I still follow up, just like I always do, 24 hours. And so the bride sent me a very sweet email. She's like, oh my gosh, you're perfect. We love you. I mean, just so sweet.
I remember this.
I send her an agreement and an invoice. And I'm like, let's go. And then I wake up to the next day and I have an email from the groom's mother.
The groom's mother.
The groom's mother.
Not the bride's mother.
But I will say
That's
that the
important.
groom, they were splitting expenses.
Yeah.
And so the groom's mother wanted to pay for the planner. Fine.
Which is weird, but whatever.
I mean, the email was so long and so rude, and it so hurt my feelings, but basically these were the things that stood out. She's like, I cannot believe that you held us hostage in your office for 90 minutes or however long it was without offering us water, milk, or cookies. And you did not even ask us how long we had. We had dinner reservations that we were late for, and I do not appreciate that. And I mean, she just basically attacked me. Well, being from psychology, I'm like, there's something else going along. I mean, something's wrong. It's not my fault. I've never offered people milk and cookies. I hate milk. I don't eat cookies. Like, bring your own freaking snacks.
This ain't Sesame Street.
Right? And most people would love to sit and pick my brain for free for 2 hours. So I get this email. I don't even know how to respond. So I emailed Jay, or no, I called him probably at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, I don't even know how to respond. And he's like, Ange, no, you are not taking this. You're going to put up with their BS. It's a smaller wedding.
Red flags.
No, red flags.
That's what I say all the
No.
time. That is when, and listen, when you feel that gut feeling and you realize that, oh, there's something more going on here,
So,
listen to
yes,
that gut
listen.
feeling.
He was right. So I politely emailed back and said, I'm so sorry I did not meet your expectations. And due to the fact of how we started out, it's probably not a good idea that we move forward in working together for the next 14, 15 months. So good luck.
And basically what that translates to in Jay's world, you are fired.
Right. Before even hiring me. Anyway, so then
I'm not working with you.
I get another email from the bride saying, here's my attached service agreement. And I'm like, oh God, they're not communicating. What should I do? And so then I like ask my business friends again, and they're like, you should forward that mother's email to her because she needs to know what she's marrying into. And I'm like, oh no, that's so mean. But I did. And I'm like, due to the below email.
Did you really?
I did. I'm like, due to the below email, I'm so sorry for the miscommunication. However, I don't think that it's a good idea. So I think it's best you find someone else. She left me voicemails.
Oh my God.
She cried.
I didn't know.
She's like, please no, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, the mom emails me back and she's like, I'm in tears. I'm so sorry I was disrespectful to you. My husband was killed in a motorcycle wreck 2 years ago. God took the love of my life away from me. And now this girl is taking away my only son, which was her only child.
Oh my
And she is angry
gosh.
at the world. And she was attacking me and taking it out on me. And she was so sorry. And she was basically begging me to come and be the planner.
So
underneath, I knew there was a bigger picture. So the moral to the story is 2 things. 1, it's okay to say no.
It's empowering.
And 2, don't take things personal.
No.
It's not always about you. You never know what's going on with people.
My affiliate plug for this week is Fonderific. Fonderific is literally one of the best products in the market. You can visit fonderific.com. You can find them in Walmart. You can find them in Amazon. It's a beautiful, beautiful product. It's a fondant gum paste. It's fondant.
You roll it.
Yeah, you roll it, put it on top of cakes. And then also, it's a woman-owned company out of Savannah, Georgia, which I love.
Female entrepreneurs.
Female entrepreneurs at its best. They're amazing, Lois and Laura. And it's great. Fonderific.com. They're in Walmart now and on Amazon. So it's
check it out.
Check it out. It's fantastic. And if you have any comments and feedback, please comment below.
So I would like to mention one of my favorite, another software service that
I love it.
Love.
Love it.
And this service is a must have. So it's called Sane Box. Like, emails make you go insane.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really cost that much. I think it's like, I don't know, $50 a year or something. But basically, like, you train your emails to go to Sane later. So it's like all the coupons and things like from the vendors and the bridal shows and the vendor
Nice.
shows and stuff. Like, I can drag it, and I do want to see it, and I'll check it on Sunday. But my favorite is Sane Black Hole. Meaning, if you
sounds
subscribe,
dirty.
well, it's not dirty. It kind of is dirty, I guess. It could be, but it's cool. Anyway, so you drag emails that you never ever want to see again, and you really want to unsubscribe to the email.
Are you serious?
But when you unsubscribe, they know you're a real person, and then they sell your email to a third-party list, which is so dirty and nasty. So don't ever unsubscribe because
my
then you
God.
get more spam.
I'm
so you
doing
just
it.
drag it to sane black hole. You never see it again. And FYI, I have some friends in the not this industry, but just other industries. They send out too many effing newsletters.
Well, so will you help me do that?
Yes.
Will you help me use the? I'm going to
Yes.
download the app and
If
we're going to
you-
do it.
If you go to my website
Okay.
and go into resources and partners, you can, I think it's just sanebox.com/Angela Profit, and you get
Perfect.
$25 off.
Oh, nice.
Check it out.
Here we are. Again, one of my favorite. I have like 3 segments that are just my favorite, and this is one of them.
Which is
We're
like
going to
almost
do
the whole show.
I know, right? Well, what can I say? This segment is I do or I don't. So this is where our producer has picked topics that we totally have no idea about what they are, and it's things that, you know, we have an opinion about, and we get to honestly give you our feedback almost instantly in either I do or I don't.
Could be controversial.
It could be very controversial.
Painted cakes.
Oh, I do.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
They're beautiful.
Okay. If you do them, maybe. I've seen some messes.
What you said, but anyway, I like it.
Did you say that's what she said?
No, I said that's what you said.
Red wedding dress.
I think that's the trashiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Didn't you do?
If you love red, like wear
Well,
use
do
sparkly
anything-
shoes or a garter or your thongs or something underneath.
I mean,
Not the dress. Oh God, cash bars. No. Now, it does depend on the budget, but if you
I don't
are
like that
having
word.
a band and a sit-down dinner with mahi-mahi and prime rib or filet mignon and shrimp and da-da-da-da, and then you have a signature drink the first hour, and then the band starts playing, you dance, and then it's cash bar. It's like, WTF. Anyway, the customer is always right.
ready? 1, 2, 3. Because if the customer is, this is such a misnomer in America.
They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they
especially
don't.
in this industry.
What you said. See, I said that again.
What she said.
I'm agreeing. No, what you said. I'm agreeing.
What kind of slang is that?
I don't
Is that a
know.
millennial slang?
I don't know. Anyway, so if the customer was always right, then we wouldn't have dentists and lawyers and doctors and wedding planners.
We
and,
wouldn't have a business.
I mean, but seriously, nobody would need experts in their field
to educate.
if the customer was always right. So no, the customer is not always right. That's a misnomer, and you are in control.
And this is a great lead-in to pick my brain.
Constantly.
'Cause-
Everybody picks our brain. Everybody wants to know, can I pick your brain for just a second?
And I love to help everyone, but there's just not enough
I
time
don't.
in the day. So one of our fans, Carl, that follows us, asked if we can describe a week in the life of a planner and a banker. And really, that's kind of a trick question for me. But he said a lot of us new to planning side have no idea what a week looks like. We're just curious how the pros who have it all figured out pull off being sane. Well, Carl, guess what?
We're not.
We're all a little insane. But I will say there is one important thing. Well, kind of 2 or 3. The first thing, you have to time block. You have to, no matter how orange you are. You have to watch the other episode to learn what that is. But you've got to time block. You've got to have your client time, which, yes, you can be flexible with that, but you have to potty train your clients and your vendors and everyone. Like, people can't just pick up the phone and call. I mean, they can, but I'm not going to answer because I schedule all my phone calls. I schedule time for me. I schedule time to go to the gym. I schedule when I'm going to go see my mom or my nieces or my nephew.
That's true.
You
That's
have
very
got
true.
to block time and stick to it. Again, flexibility is good. But like, if I have a week with no events, it's very different. Monday through Friday is very different week to week, depending if we have an event or if we don't have
Or
an
we
event.
have 10 events.
So on Mondays, I really try hard to start off by looking at social media. And again, I have a timer. My computer tells me what time it is every hour.
I hate it.
Well, I love it because it keeps me on track and I'm actually extremely productive with it.
It's creepy.
So I block my times on Mondays, and then if I need to get a client in there or something, I have a little bit of wiggle room. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, I'm pretty much in meetings from 9:30 in the morning till 10 at night sometimes.
And when she's not in meetings, she's on calls. And when she's not in calls, she's maybe sleeping. Like 2 hours a day.
Or at the gym,
Yeah.
or you know, doing something with my family. But it's just you have to time block, and things come up, and there's distractions, and there's noise, and I really try to tell myself only if someone's like dying am I gonna break
Your chain.
this rule.
Yeah.
And it really does work, and you got to be consistent with yourself. Now, if it's a week of an event, it's completely different because we're prepping, we're picking things up, we're ordering things. There's just a lot going on. But at the end of the day, I've learned that you really do need to sleep. It's really unhealthy, and you've got to take time to be healthy, because if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot help take care of anyone else.
And everything else is going to fail.
So what is a week like for you?
So for us, it's a little bit different because we're very operational centric. So everything we do, our typical week starts like on a Tuesday. All right. We get Sunday and Mondays off for the most part.
Off.
And I mean off
You're
by...
working on your business, not in your business.
I am there.
On
My
Sunday.
staff is not, but I'm there on Mondays. That's when I do all the office work. And I set that up a long time ago and saw it because it's quiet and I'm there alone and I can focus. That also gives me time to prep for the week, to follow up on emails, to make sure we got all the details.
Supplies.
And supplies and things like that in ready to go for when everybody comes in on Tuesday.
Gotta have prep days.
On Tuesdays we bake. And sometimes Wednesdays. On Wednesdays we split, fill, maybe decorate. A few things are prep for sugar pieces, things like that need to advance. And then the third and fourth day we are literally decorating, stacking, prepping.
Constantly.
And it's constant. And then I also meet with clients on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays to do tastings. I sometimes have to, in the busy season, at the beginning of the year and toward the middle of summer, we have to start adding Saturday and Sunday tastings in there because there's not enough time during the week to do it. So it's pretty crazy. When I'm not at the office, I am literally either networking, in meetings, filming, working on other projects, traveling and teaching and speaking. So it is never, ever just...
It never stops.
It never stops. And I think it's imperative.
But
And
that is our choice.
it is by choice.
We can always say no.
I mean,
There are some things you should say no to.
well, I just think you need to keep a life-work balance, and that's being used a lot. And, you know, one of the good things that we can do is sometimes pick up and take a trip somewhere,
You're right.
which is a good,
So let's talk about travel.
that's one of the best segues I've ever think we've ever done. So this is an opportunity for us to share like some of our tidbits about, one of our tidbits about our favorite hotels in the U.S.
So not really to do events in, just
Yeah,
going
just
to hotels.
casual, like-
I don't know if
like-
I can pick one.
No, I mean, it's hard. And I've stayed in a
what's
lot.
yours?
So it's the Artmore in Atlanta. It's just one of my
What?
favorites. It's like a boutique hotel.
Artmore?
And Artmore is what it's
Okay,
called.
does it
It's
have
in
art everywhere?
Yeah, it does actually.
Okay.
And it's a boutique hotel, but the suites are just like very modern plush, I guess is a
Okay.
good way to do it. And it's in the heart of Atlanta, so you can get to anything really fast. And it's just consistently one of my favorite hotels. It's very affordable, and I love it. It's called the Artmore. You should check them out. If you're ever in Atlanta, they're always booked. I mean, for a reason. What about you?
There's so many, but I do love the Mandarin Oriental in Vegas.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
I love all their properties, but I really love the one in Vegas.
I mean, everything in Vegas, everywhere I've ever stayed in Vegas is just over the top.
Not me. The very first time I went, I stayed at some childcare bullshit
What the
planet
hell?
something. I
Who
don't
booked
know.
that for you?
It wasn't me, and this is why I like to book my own travel.
And we'll talk about this. This is a good
What's
topic.
that? Like some circus, or I don't know. It was awful.
Look,
there were kids everywhere.
But look, let's make a note on this. Like seriously, like for a segment, I'd like to talk about.
I love the Cosmopolitan.
I'd like to talk about
the top floor
when
penthouse.
people book us to. So this can this be my something random today? It can.
Sure.
Right? Why not? So my something random is going to be. I have a pet peeve. This is completely random.
Just one pet peeve?
Well, I have a lot, but this is on topic. Like, So when we travel a lot of times we don't have control of our travel. And a lot of times, I mean, I have some riders in my contract, like the things that I want. Like I am not. So I got stuck at an airport one time, and because they did not book me ground transportation. I'm literally coming to a huge convention where I'm speaking, and I got to the airport. They paid for my travel and my hotel, but guess what? I didn't have a way to get, not that I'm a diva to where I expect you, but come on. If you're hosting me and you're going through all the process of booking my hotel and booking my flight and all that stuff, and you don't book me a way to get from I mean, I would have totally done it, but I don't do it on the fly. Uber wasn't there. Well, but Uber wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
It's just not good hospitality.
But y'all, I've shown up at some shitholes. All right. I literally stayed at a place one time that hosted me. When I got in the room, and it was like an apartment kind of thing. They put me in. I was so afraid. Like, I laid in the bed. I didn't want to sleep. I slept on top of the thing, and I put my coat on me. And because I was afraid of spiders, it was not clean.
Did you have any bugs?
I don't know.
My favorite, oh my God, I have a podcast about it. And like, there were literally roaches in the room and in the shower, and there were no lights.
Jay's
and
out.
I think I got bed bugs. And people want to know, like, well, we'll take care of your hotel. We'll take care of your airfare. Well, and I'm like, no, we'll do that. Thank you.
And you can reimburse me.
Exactly.
But everybody thinks like we get to do all these glamorous things. There really isn't any, there's really not that much glamour in travel. It's hard. It's rough.
It's
it can be, I'd say 1 out of 3 is amazing. Like, yeah. But then there's some that are just.
The older you get and the more you experience, the more you know how to better communicate and make sure that you.
Well, I have a pretty tight
taken care of
contract now. Like.
And you have to think, like, we're leaving our families and our little dogs and our bed, and I mean, it takes a lot of time.
I hate it. So, 9 times out of 10, every time we travel, I mean, we have pretty good experience. Not to be too hard on our folks that are trying to host us. So I don't mean to be a jerk, but and so anyway.
So my something random.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do something random now. Do you want to? Oh, this is exciting. Look, I get excited.
Let's do food.
Oh, good.
What's your favorite food?
So I think if you told me I was like on an island and this was my last meal, I would probably want, like, this is very Southern too. I'd probably want cornbread dressing. It's literally like one of my favorite things. And why we only have it twice a year at Thanksgiving and Christmas, I will never understand.
What is the problem, people?
It's so good.
I don't know. Like,
What's your favorite food?
I don't want to be like that extreme. If it's
I'm trying to just give perspective here. Like,
know.
if you, because that really puts your favorite food in perspective.
I mean, I don't know. I love Mexican food.
Okay, what's your favorite Mexican dish? Let's be really specific.
Well, like the cheese dip in the meat, but like it's
queso.
So fattening.
Queso.
And I love Chef's Market chips and queso.
Jeez, I love Chef's Market everything.
They're not a Mexican restaurant, but they can kill it on some Mexican
for those of you who don't know, Chef's Market is here in Nashville. It's one of the premier caterers and restaurants here in Nashville, and everything they do is just delish. And they're great to work with. If you guys have any comments about this episode or you have anything you want to share with us, please comment below. Please follow us on all of our social media outlets.
And be sure to subscribe, because if you're not subscribed, you might miss one of the episodes and you don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. And we have so many things coming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting us and following us on all of our outlets. And please, please, please engage with us. We want to hear from you. And
just like you're sitting here with us.
I want you, if we could, we would have you right here. But we're trying our best to make sure that you feel a part of this, because you literally are driving the topics that we're sharing with you.
Never give up.
Oh, man.
Comment below.
Thank you. See you next time.